So in this video I'm going to cover how to install the receiver and how to actually set it up, do like the first setup with using the auto EQ with the provided microphone, and I will show you how to do that here. Feel free to, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. The story of this particular theater is coming to an end, but newer and bigger things are just over the horizon, and I'm really excited. But before I leave this theater, I have a couple of receivers I want to review. I'm going to start with the Onkyo TX-NR6050, which is a receiver that you can buy in Costco, probably pretty popular, and I actually bought it for $400. It was originally $500, went down to $400, and I picked it up. I was going to use this receiver in the new family room in the new house, but then we switched from like in-room subwoofers to in-wall subwoofers, and I just wanted to get a receiver with a trigger out to turn on an external amplifier, and this receiver did not have that. I was going to rely on like an SVS sub to automatically turn on. I just want to give a little context on where I'm going to be installing this receiver. This is my dedicated home theater room. This has a 7.2.4 system. It's the 11 channel system, and I currently have it connected to an Anthem processor, two Emotiva amplifiers. This is the top iteration of this theater. That I've gone through different stages. I started with a 7 channels system, then I went to an 11 channel system with a receiver, and then more recently I went to full separates. And since I am moving and coming to the end, I have to package up the Anthem and the two Emotiva amps and take them to the new house so that my integrator can install them. I guess it's the perfect opportunity for me to test out these new receivers that I bought, because I need to have something installed in here. I have a couple of receivers that I have here, and I haven't even unpacked them or done any video on them. Today I'm going to do an unboxing of the TX-NR6050 Onkyo receiver. It's a 7-channel receiver, and hopefully next time I'll get to do this Yamaha RX82A. These are receivers that I bought to go into the new house to be used for different home theaters, and yeah, let's go ahead and get this out of the box, and then I'll talk about setting it up. I'm unboxing this in the theater room because I just the place where I usually do unboxing videos is quite messy right now due to the move, and I just don't want to even deal with it. But my theater room is typically always in a pretty neat. So right away it kind of gives you shows you how to deal with everything. I'll figure it out. So we got the remote control, which is pretty typical Onkyo remote. I think I have one very similar in my in the rec room. Looks like they included, looks like you got your FM antenna, setup mic, which I'm gonna need, and looks like an AM antenna, some batteries for the remote, documentation, and instructions. So this receiver is like a Costco special. This is like a special item that Onkyo produced for Costco specifically, and it's a very good price point. I think I paid $400 for this receiver, which is quite a bargain given with all the features you're getting, including like 8K support. Let me get this out of the way. It's got some decent weight to it. It's not like a brick or anything, but and there she is in all its glory. Here, let's get a better look at the front and the back. So here we got, obviously you got an on-off switch, headphone jack. You got a pure audio button that you would hit for, you can probably hit that button if you want less processed sound signature. Your listening mode buttons here, some EQ buttons here, treble, vocal, bass. I typically don't mess with that. USB input there for, I guess, maybe like digital files, music files, setup mic input. Then you got your different inputs there on screen there, and obviously a nice volume control. This is actually, it's nice, and there's some it's nice and smooth. I can feel it's definitely got some resistance there, which I like. The Denon that I got from Costco last time had a cheaper feeling volume control. This definitely has much better resistance, and feels high quality. It is a more expensive receiver, but again, I paid exactly the same in Costco for this one versus the Denon that I reviewed on my channel. Let's turn it around and see the back of it. Before I turn it around, you can see I don't know if you can see it there, but there's a fan here which they put on the to cool the HDMI board, which is good because Onkyo is notorious for having HDMI boards fail. So it looks like they addressed it with some cooling, extra cooling there, which is definitely good. Okay, so let's start with power. You have two-prong power here. You have a binding post for 7 speakers, front, center, surround, height. You can select it. You can either select surround back or height for these binding posts. You can also assign these to the surrounds to height as well. I would definitely recommend keeping them as surrounds, of course, if you can. But you can have 2 sets of heights apparently with just a front and center. Again, I wouldn't do that unless you had 3 speakers in the front. You had your fronts and your center, and then you happen to have like 2 sets of Atmos speakers maybe in your ceiling. There's always an option to do that. You have separate zone 2. Here you have separate zone 2. It doesn't say whether you can biamp your fronts with these, but maybe you can, but it doesn't. It typically would say it in the back if you can do that. He has 2 separate sub pre-outs. These are probably, in fact, I'm pretty sure that they're not individually adjustable. So they're probably just mirror, they're sending the same signal out. So it's basically acting like one big subwoofer. So it's probably not the right way to put that. So you have separate line outs, pre-outs for zone 2 as well. Some legacy audio inputs as well, RCA inputs. Phono, which is definitely a big plus for these days. There's a lot of interest in vinyl again, with the vinyl resurgence. You have digital optical in, coaxial optical in, FM antenna, AM antenna. You have 2 HDMI outs. Both of them support 8K. You have 3 inputs that support 8K and 3 that do not. So as you can see, they're clearly labeled. This one says 4K, this one says 8K. Very similar to my Denon that I already reviewed on the channel. You have Ethernet inputs and USB in, 1 amp, so I believe 5 watts capable. And you have your USB antennas. So that's pretty much it. Pretty standard, not a lot, for $400, you're getting a lot of features. Really can't complain. And decent power at 90 watts per channel. I want to talk about my new Onkyo TX-NR6050, which is a 7-channel receiver. And I want to talk about why I bought this particular receiver. I want to give you some context about the room that I'm going to be installing this receiver in. Well, I'm going to be testing it out in my current theater. This is an 11-channel setup. It's a 7.2.4 setup, so I have 7 bed layer speakers and 4 Atmos speakers, along with 2 dedicated subwoofers, SVS PB3000s. I have videos on pretty much everything. I have videos which I go over this room in detail, multiple videos, so if you're interested in those, I'll put some cards up there, and feel free to peruse all my other videos if you want to learn a little bit more about this room. So I guess the way I see it is, if I'm currently using an Anthem processor, which can process up to 15 channels, which is 4 more than what I'm currently using. I bought that because I'm actually moving to a new house, and with the new house comes a new theater, and with the new theater I'm gonna have an even bigger home theater room, and so I'm actually gonna be maxing out, and then some of the processing capabilities of my Anthem. I also have 2 Emotiva amps powering everything. So right now this theater is maxed out as far as the quality of processing, the quality of amplification that I got going on in here. And this is a definitive technology speaker setup. So all the speakers in here, except for the subs, they're SVS subs. So that kind of gives you some context of where I'm coming from in this room. So I'm going to be installing this 7-channel receiver in here. Ultimately, what I'm trying to see is if I can install a $400 receiver that I bought in Costco, and can I get a really good experience? That's basically the answer I want to provide in this video. I did review a budget Costco receiver not too long ago, maybe over a year ago. That was the Denon receiver. I think it was the S760 or something, if I remember correctly. The results were surprising. It gave me a very good theater experience, to be honest, and I'm going to expect about the same from the Onkyo. I believe it has has similar specs. This one actually does provide a little more power. I think it's at 90 watts per channel, two channels driven. The Denon had 75 watts per channel. A lot of people are going to be like cross-shopping those 2 receivers, and even though this one has been out a while, I'm going to kind of throw my hat in the ring, and I bought it because I'm moving to a bigger house. I'm going to have more rooms, and I believe this one's going to go in my music listening room. I'll see, or it might even go in my office temporarily, but I do have a use for it. So I'm going to be testing it out in this room, and I'll actually be using my my Samsung 82-inch television that's in my rec room, and I will be testing out all the HDR functionality and all that through that with that television using a very long HDMI cable. So, but it will be set up in this room. But yeah, let's go ahead and get this guy set up and see how easy it is. There's been a bunch of changes going on in this room. I got changed out the center channel for my smaller old one here. There's my big 9080 center channel that's going in a new theater. Changed out the front height speakers from my large studio monitors there. They took them down. These are going to be my front wides in the new theater. I changed the back surrounds as well to slightly smaller satellites from Definitive. And I got a bunch of receivers here as well, just that I'm going to be testing out soon. That's an old. This is a pre Atmos Onkyo receiver that I had that still works. It's actually a big guy, and it was actually in my office, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's still there. It's time to pull the old Anthem out and put the new receiver in. Let's get the first Emotiva out. Now these guys are really heavy. Really heavy. And Emotiva number 2. This one. Here we go. Big heavy guy. In with the new. You know. All right, let's get everything connected real quick. Should be pretty painless. It's about 7 channels. I'm going to hook up all my HDMIs to it as well and plug this guy in. I'm going to just get this going here. Let's start with some speaker cable. All right, so I got this is front left. I'm going to go red with red, and these are all banana. These are 5-way binding posts, but I'm using banana plugs. It just makes it a lot easier. I would highly recommend banana plugs. All right, let's get the front right here. All right, so I'm going to do heights since I actually found them. Okay. Put my surrounds in. This is surround right. Surround right. And obviously I'm going to double check all this stuff when I have it all connected. And then my center channel, which is this nice blue, easy to tell apart. Just make sure you got everything, all the polarity. All the red goes with red, black with black, that kind of thing, except for most people aren't going to have that situation. This, I always use Ethernet when possible, but, obviously this has Wi-Fi as well, so you don't have to worry. So I'm going to just go ahead and start connecting stuff. My projector is 1080p in this room, so it doesn't really matter where I put stuff, but I'm just going to try to match it up. So I'm going to go game for my Xbox, and that kind of makes sense. This one is Apple TV. I'm going to go stream box for Apple TV. It makes sense, right? Again, it doesn't matter if you put it in 8K or not, really. I have a PC, I believe. I got my home theater PC. I'll put it there in the PC input. This is my Blu-ray player input, so I'm going to put it in Blu-ray. Blu-ray DVD. Last but not least, I got my Zedu, which I'm going to actually put I guess I can put it in cable or auxiliary. I'll put it in auxiliary. Again, it doesn't matter where you put it. And let's put my subs. These subwoofer pre-outs are not independent, so they will not, you know, it doesn't, I don't think it really matters which one it's just sending the same signal. So there's you can see the subwoofer there. And now I'm gonna do my output. So I'm gonna stick it in the main HDMI out. It's a really thick cable because it's a long like 25-foot cable. I'm not even gonna bother with like FM AM antenna here, but yeah, it looks like we're all connected and ready to go. So I got it in, I got it hooked up. Let's turn it on. Should turn on just good. And I'll start initial setup. It comes right on. So the receiver is going to come with everything you need to set it up. This receiver did not come with like a boom or like a microphone stand for the microphone, which is in the little red bag there. So I'm just going to use one of my own. You don't have to. I have actually just placed the microphone here, which is okay. Most professionals are going to recommend you putting it on a microphone stand or something. You don't really have to. It is ideal. If you don't have one, I've actually done it in the past. You can just place the microphone roughly at head height and you'll get pretty good results. So I put my microphone here on this little boom there, and I'm gonna go ahead and plug it in into the setup microphone port here, right there. And then we can start the on-screen process. I should mention that I got it, pretty much at ear level on my little microphone stand here, and the microphone's pointing up at the ceiling. We should be good to go. So I just ran the AccuEQ, and I guess the only thing I'm concerned about is the center is crossed over 200 hertz for some reason. I mean, I know the center isn't the most awesome center ever, but I'm pretty sure it can handle more than 200. I'm just gonna cross it over to 80. And yeah, because I think that's kind of weird. And the heights, I'm probably gonna cross over at 80 as well. Surrounds, I'm just gonna do 80. And then the fronts, I'm just gonna go full band here and shut off double bass. So the distance is the weirdest. So front left I got right, center is pretty right at 12.4 feet. Front right, as you can see there, pretty much the same distance, but it's about half the distance there. And in fact, this is like, I've run it like multiple times and I got 0.1 foot multiple times. Then I thought maybe it might have been a polarity issue with another one of the speakers. 6.5 feet is way off. I've never seen a receiver set the distance like that. I'm gonna listen to it and see if I like it, but I'm not sure. I think the others look okay, like plausible. The others are okay. Hand level, calibration seemed okay. One thing, the center speaker actually sounds a little, I'm gonna boost the center just a little bit because it does not sound as loud. So one thing you can do is actually take like your phone and use a decibel app. So that's probably what I'm going to do to just double check these numbers. Anyway, if you have any questions about the receiver, feel free to leave them in the comments. Again, I had a blast with this receiver, and I think you would too. And yeah, it really helps the channel a lot if you can like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.